Let's talk about Ace Bailey, man, because
Ace.
again, this is another highlight tape or highlight reel that I've watched with him, and he reportedly is actually going to show up to Utah now tomorrow, which is Saturday. You'll probably be watching this on. We'll probably release on Saturday. So today,
Okay.
he's supposed to be showing up. Danny Ainge is like, listen, we drafted you, whether you like it or not, you're a member of the Utah Jazz. So your ass better show up and you better do your job at this point because you are employed by us. And I understand that sentiment. How would you have handled this situation if you're Ace Bailey? And what do you do from here?
Me, if I was in it, well, personally, I wouldn't want to go to Utah, but that's just me personally.
Same.
But
No
that's
offense,
sorry.
guys. It's all
No
right.
guys, no guys, no
It's
guys.
all right.
Sorry, not. But it's it's a very it becomes very like a touchy situation because he hasn't played a minute of NBA basketball, so it's already puts a spotlight on you in like a very negative manner. So now people are talking about his representation. They're talking about the kid might be stuck up. All this like a lot. He's receiving a lot of like negative like press. Like and anybody who people who know the kid and talk about him say he's such a very a very hardworking kid, a very nice kid. But it's just and a lot of blame is going to his representation. He clearly didn't want to go to Utah. He said it was one team he didn't want to go to, and Danny Ainge was like, "Sorry, we tanked all year, and a kid that's was at some in some mocks early on in the year was regarded could be a number one pick, just fell in our lap. We're standing pat. We're taking you, and
Yeah.
you're going to be on the Utah Jazz. It becomes like iffy because like he if he really doesn't want to go there and it's a standoff, like what happens? Like I you see like it becomes a weird situation in the NBA. I don't think we've ever had this type of situation before to this extent.
He has to show up and he has to play. And I don't mean that in a shut up and dribble type way, you know, but you have caused such a distraction. You have caused so much drama, unnecessary drama around yourself, like not even around the team, around your name, to the point where even if I don't think you can get what you want, right? If I'm the Nets, if I'm the Wizards, I don't know if I want Ace Bailey. Now you're a Net fan, so maybe you can override that. But for me, do I want a player who wants to come to my team who has caused all this drama? Now, he might be a good kid, but that's his representation causing that drama. Also, the way he plays, which, like, just on the court, he's selfish. This kid doesn't pass the basketball. His shot selection is abysmal. It's some of the worst. I'm watching highlights, and I'm like, that's a bad shot. That's a bad shot. That's a bad shot. That's a bad shot. How many assists this guy average? Oh, like one? Okay, no. Like, why is it that Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey couldn't make this Rutgers team a viable team? And, you know,
Um,
and to me, when I talk to people who watch college basketball, correct me if I'm wrong, because I do have a group chat that you're not in
yeah.
with AJ Kelly, Josh Felgery, former guests on the show, who say that my suspicions are right. Is that he's a ball hog, takes bad shots, chemistry's bad, and a lot of it has to do with him. Now, he wanted to go to Brooklyn and Washington to me, right? And from what I've read or heard, is because he wants to be the guy on the team, right? You go to a team in Washington, you go to a team in Brooklyn, and you become that guy. And that's like the franchise has to build around you because they have nothing else to build around for like a number one, right? You don't these franchises don't have a number one. They have nice young pieces, but they don't have a number one. You could do the same thing in Utah. It's just gonna be in Utah. I understand Utah's not
It's
Brooklyn.
just gonna be you, and that's
And
the
I
problem.
understand that Utah's not Washington, D.C., which is one of the more underrated. Every time I've talked to an athlete, they say that's one of the more underrated cities to play in and live in.
Yeah.
They love D.C. You're just going to have to ball out in Utah, bro. At this point, this is what your decisions have led to this. And he's a young kid. Everything I've heard about his personality is that he's a good kid. He needs the right people in his ear right now telling him in very kindly, bro, it's like this whole process did not go the way you wanted, but this is where you're at now. If you want to be valued in the way that you think you're valued, you're going to have to ball. You cannot cause any more drama, or your representation, to be fair to him, can't cause any more drama. You're going to have to show up. You're going to have to ball, and you're going to have to prove why you think you're the best player in this draft. You're going to have to learn. You're going to have to learn how to be an NBA player. You're going to have to learn how to be a team player because there's a lot more that goes in to being a superstar in the NBA than hitting, by the way, mid-range fadeaway jumpers on a team, the Utah Jazz, that likes to shoot threes and layups. They don't go with this whole mid-range thing. There's going to be a lot of things that this guy's going to have to learn as a member of the Utah Jazz. And right now, he's not even thinking about that. And for me, if he was my friend, that would scare me because it doesn't seem like he's focused. I don't know who's in his ear. Obviously, it's probably his representation and his agents and whatnot. They have put this idea in his head that he can control his destiny, and you can to a certain extent.
To a certain extent, yeah.
But it's to a certain extent. And now
Yeah.
that extent has come, and you have to deal with the consequences of your actions. This might be the best thing that ever happened to him, though, right? Now you're going to an organization, a coach in Will Hardy, who I think preaches the right way to play the game, or a version of a way to play the game that's more modern. Seems to be a good coach. The Utah Jazz organization is all about basketball. Danny Ainge is one of the better GMs in the league. So when he feels the time is right to build around you, he can do it. But you got to show up and ball, and you got to be open to learn, and you have to adjust your game a little bit. If you think you're going to come into the NBA, taking these shots that you were taking at Rutgers, by the way, you didn't lead Rutgers anywhere. So if I'm a scout, what makes me think that you can lead a team, an NBA team, anywhere? I just think there's a lot of, when you're that young, I'm trying to put myself in that position, and I give these kids a lot of grace because when I was 19, 20, 21, 22, I wouldn't say I had a big ego, but you have an ego. You have this idea of yourself, and you haven't been able to live life and have the experience to know that, okay, this is what's best for me.
Yeah.
And I just feel like there are people in his life that are in his ear that are just giving him bad advice. He needs to just go to Utah and ball out.
He needs to just go to Utah and ball out.
He does. At this point, it's over. It's over.
I think to add to some of the stuff you were saying, I think that and there's only little bit of a pushback I think people are making, which I will slightly agree to, but not at the same time, is that he didn't want to go, but he clearly made it very clear, I don't want to go here. I don't want to go to this team, and they still went ahead and took him. And
but that's life, bro.
That's what I'm saying. But that comes with it, and that comes with the NBA. You can just dictate as much as you can dictate. And him making a choice, him coming out and saying all this stuff, he was actually supposed to go to Philly. Philly was the third pick. That's what, and he now he ends up on Utah, which is, I mean, it's crazy to say, but you go into a team where last year, I remember those articles that came out last year that Will Hardy had Lauri Markkanen. They were running plays for Lauri Markkanen to take more contested threes, just so it could improve his accuracy. They just be out there experimenting and trying shit, and he's so you're probably going through
Will
a
Hardy's
situation.
gonna show up in a lab coat
That's what I'm saying.
on the sidelines and goggles.
The worst, he might be going to a situation where he's given a green light and he's allowed to shine and allowed to get better. I get it. It might not be appealing because it's Utah, and it's you don't want to be on the next episode of Mormon Wives with Lives, whatever that show is. But
oh my goodness. But
yeah.
but it's a compromise from what you wanted, because you didn't want to just be another cog. You didn't want to be a role player. So you're not going to San Antonio. You're not going to Philly. You are getting a team. You're just going to be in Utah.
You're gonna be Utah, and I feel like he's gonna get an opportunity to play and get better if it ends up working out that way. But Danny Ainge is not the Danny Ainge, and I also his son, Austin Ainge. They made it very clear, hey, you're going to be on the Utah Jazz. We're playing hardball, show up, and so it is what it is at this point. So I mean, hopefully he shows up. Hopefully it goes smooth. I feel like this whole situation has put a stain on his reputation as a young kid, which sucks, is that this is where you're starting out with to get into the NBA. You already have a negative spotlight on you. It's that sucks. It doesn't you already coming into it with such a such like a negative reputation about yourself, everything you do is gonna be like, oh, see, he had a bad game. He thinks he's good. Like anything he does is gonna be overanalyzed, and this is a situation like you brought yourself into. A lot of it, I keep seeing a lot of it. People are saying that this is because of his representation. I don't. I'm not. I haven't really
If
like
he's a
looked
good
into it.
kid, like
Yeah,
everyone says he is, and that's all I've read about him.
yeah.
Like I've heard nothing bad about his character. If that is true, it is his representation. It's
And
his representation.
and he even during the draft, he said like he just focuses on basketball and that's all he cares about. So if that's the case, hopefully he goes to Utah and just goes and focuses on ball, and he gets right in in the long run. If you don't want to be in Utah, you can just do like Donovan Mitchell, go out there, play really well. Eventually, you can leave and make more money. Like it will work out that way. But right now, you're gonna be in the Utah where there's no Jazz. So
Which is wild.
there's, there's
Insane. It's
insane.
insane that they're called the Jazz. Absurd. It is the most. It is the most
Let's not
jazzless place.
let's not go on that. Let's not go on that rant.
In the
Let's not go on the
country.
Jazz rant.
It's
Let's not go.
it's Montana, North Dakota, Utah. There's no jazz. No jazz in Utah.
All the
You
jazz
cannot
musicians,
convince me.
all the jazz musicians that are in Utah, we apologize for that. For that.
If you're a jazz musician in Utah, please just comment.
comment. Let
Just
us know.
shut me up, please. I would love to be proven wrong.
Let us know.
Jeez. Now I feel bad because also like it is being said that he is a good kid, but his game speaks selfishly. You know what I mean? So you watch him play, and again, this is me watching like snippets and highlights. So this is me. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass, but everyone I've talked to basically said I'm hitting it right on the head with this. You watch his game, and it's like it feels like I only care about me. This is me. I mean, he's
I'll say
taking.
this.
It's like he's taking bad shots on purpose.
I'll say
Seriously.
this. I'll say this. I'll say this. When it comes to Rutgers, because I watch a bit of Rutgers because Rutgers is right by me.
Yeah.
The team overall wasn't that good. Dylan Harper was injured for a good portion of the year.
Yeah, he was.
But he was still when he was on the floor, he was the best player. You obviously saw that. That's why he was the number 2 pick. With Ace was basically got on the court and was showing off that, hey, I'm a tough shot maker, because that was it. And a lot of people were like, oh my God, these are bad shots. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm definitely not disagreeing with that. But with that, that also goes into coaching and the system you have in place. Because watching that, a lot of times I was like, this was what you wanted him to take. Like there was no balance or whatever. But if you talk to a lot of his teammates, a lot of his coaches, they were like, oh, those crazy shots he takes and all that stuff, he makes it in practice. Like that is his game. He makes it. That's why.
And I heard his teammates like him too.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like his teammates love him. So like it was never like you never see him taking those wild shots and his teammates kind of like going like, what the like what's going on? Like, so they kind of accepted it. So I want to shoot at him a little bit of slack there. But some of the shots he takes out, watching him, I was like, bro, you look like you're already made up your mind before you took that shot. Like, which is wild. But hey, we're gonna see what happens in Utah. That's gonna be Utah Ace.
I mean, I'm rooting for him. Honestly, I'm at an age now and a point in my life where I root for everybody, just because like I see the human side of the game. That it's not so much like you're wearing a different jersey, I hate you. Like I don't have a star that I hate on. That's not who I am.
Yeah.
So I hope he does well.
Yeah. Same.
I hope he does well.